Hello, everybody, and welcome to Steve Couper's podcast for aspiring real estate investors. In each episode, we connect with seasoned investors and industry subject matter experts who are eager to share their expertise and experiences for success when investing in real estate. So, before I forget, and before we go too far into this, if you're enjoying the content, I'd like it if you could please hit that like button. If you think your audience might like it as well, please hit share. Drop some comments, and most importantly, please hit the subscribe button. All right. Well, thank you. So today is a great day. I'm really excited to introduce my guest, Christian Gilbert. Did I pronounce your last name properly?
Yeah, actually, Christian Gilbert, that's the French pronunciation. I say Chris Gilbert for
Chris,
simplicity, but
Chris,
yeah.
Chris Gilbert for us Anglophones.
Christian Gilbert for the ladies and Chris Gilbert for the business.
Okay.
All
Well, Chris.
right.
Chris is the COO of We Clean Pest Control Limited. He's working out of Edmonton, but he services all of Alberta, I've heard.
Yeah.
He's an artist and entrepreneur who's passionate about business development and problem solving. His mission is to give back context to people and facing pest-related issues, so that's good. Specializing in bed bug remediation. Can only imagine the fun you've had there. And he's created a real estate, so you're, as far as I understand it, a real estate investor who's looking to help avoid carelessness from competing companies. So there must be some stories you've got that are behind that statement that I found. So anyhow, with all of that being said, did I get anything wrong in that, Chris? Is it all right?
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay.
About right. I'm not, there might be other things, information somewhere that people is on me, but it's all false. I pled guilty or not guilty. It depends. I'll just consult with my lawyers to find out what's the best answer to those things.
The best answer to those things.
If
Well,
it's a bad thing, it wasn't me. If it's a good thing, yeah, sure, that's what I do.
let's hope it's all good. Let's hope it's all good.
That's it.
So Chris, I mean, apart from that introduction, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so pretty much I'm from Quebec City. I study computer science. I work as a tech developer for probably 10 years, like pretty much engineering application, 3D, and things like this. And I was a bit tired to watch the screen all day, and I had the need to just travel and move it a bit. So completely changed career. I joined the Navy. I was a Navy officer for 5 years. But through that, I was like, that would be nice to develop a financial freedom. So I start doing real estate investment. So I was posted in Victoria. So I heard about the RAIN, the Real Estate Investment Network. It was probably 2011 then.
Hmm.
Then I bought the first condo. 7 months after I bought another house, like I was doing short-term rental, and it was doing pretty good. Actually, I had a strong return. But 3 months after I bought the first condo, my renter called me and say, "There's a notice on the door. It say we have bed bugs." And I was like, "What's a bed bug?" I thought it was a myth. Then the treatment came back every 3 months with the problems all the time of either tenants are not want to comply with preparation. So I had all the issues and then damaging the place and people like people like wanting to break the lease. So pretty much what that brought me to try to find a solution that doesn't require complicated preparation. In this case, like every time there were one person with a problem bed bugs, all the 9 units around needed to prepare. So it was creating a mess, and it brought as well the business, um, the the reserve for the old multifamily was 50 grand when we bought the building. 2 years after it was zero, and we were forced to sell the building to Main Street, right? So there was another thing that was not a good experience with this. Like, but again, the main thing was that I needed to find a solution, or else I was not able to do proper control like my investment, right? So that's why I started pest control business when I was still working in the Navy, and then I leave the Navy for focusing full time on the business itself. And then 10 years later, now I'm just back to doing multifamily, and I want to bring the experience to the community because I just discovered in the last 10 years also what is done for other type of pests. In the beginning, it was focused on bed bugs, but 2 years after, we evolved with like doing all the type of pest property manager might want to do. And there's definitely a lot of BS sometimes, right? And that's normal. Company wants to do profit, but my point is I always stay with the mentality of being an investor. And if I joined this, was not to do more of the same. It was to do sure company that do profit, but not by doing inefficient treatment or recommendation that is not in the advantage of the investor. So I believe there's a way to do profit um, um, without just sucking out all the resource of few investors, right? So
Interesting.
that's the idea behind
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the mission, right?
That's a good business model. I like the idea. And I mean, it's not necessarily the sexy side of multifamily investing that we all think of,
No,
but it's got to be one of the most important things. And especially if you ignore the requirement, you can seriously find up with your business threatened, as you did. That must have been quite alarming at the time, and all of a sudden it became a light bulb that went on in your head, saying, "There's an opportunity here. I need to learn this and do it better." Right?
so that's it. The thing it became an opportunity for I don't know if I can disclose the company that bought us, but it doesn't matter with like it's not there's not really a specific building. I don't want to necessarily disclose who purchased the thing, just I don't know if there's a
No.
legal issue with this, but for them it became an opportunity to buy a property that could have been performing a lot better for a cheaper price.
Yeah.
And then this manager as well had like a way to do pest control at cheaper price because they were controlling as well the pest control. So so that's that. So that's why now I'm back with this model to try to um, find property that underperform for those reasons
Yeah.
and bring them to perform better.
And you're providing a service to other investors, right? Other properties. You're providing pest control solutions for others. How long have you been doing this now? When did you establish this as a business in Alberta?
2014,
Yeah,
so it's been 11 years.
nice.
Um, so specialized initially in bed bugs remediation with heat treatment, and 2 years after, pretty much all the inside type of pests, so mice, cockroach. Those are the main three, I will say, like in Alberta, in Edmonton.
Yeah.
And then for sure, like there's all the seasonal pests that we get during summer, going to some wildlife as well, like gophers
Mm.
or pigeons or things like this, right? So there's now we pretty much have complete solution for apartment building for Alberta so problems, right? We don't have lizard here, not not like Miami. It's a different
No
type of
lizards,
pest, right?
no rats in
There's no rat neither, right?
Yeah.
There's people that are bad intention, but we cannot
Dirty
exterminate
rats.
them. They're just we have to deal with them. Sometimes we have to pay them, but hey, nothing can do directly for service to them.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
that's right. So, as a business, pest control, is that a standalone something that you could make a living and retire at, or do you find that augmenting it with the real estate investment is helping to provide a complementary solution? I guess I'm wondering, is it seasonal or is it full year? Are you busy 12 months of the year, go, 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 or
No, it's full year, but it's definitely more busy during summer just because of a lot of pests that will not, be happening during winter, right? A
yeah,
lot during summer you have all the outside pests like ants and wasp that
yeah,
don't happen during winter, and also people don't travel as much, and because temperature is colder in the building, then there's also slower reproduction period for event bed bugs or roaches, right? So warmer temperature just make them reproduce faster and make also the people move around a bit
sure.
more. So that's all that
We,
impact,
we,
right?
We've certainly seen a lot of migration between provinces and immigration, people coming from out of country. With that, I'm sure that we see a lot of these problems that you solve. You solve, and then 3 months later, there's a new tenants that may have actually accidentally imported problems in. So you've
Yeah.
got that impacting your business too, yes?
So sometimes it's only 5 days later, right? Because people might have like just family and friends that also have the problems, and like in case of bed bugs, that's the issues, right? So even if you get rid of the issue in like let's say in a detached house, someone could just have a friend that have also got a high infestation from him, and they just come back, and suddenly the bed bugs are back. So in an apartment building, well, if the neighbor is not treated properly, then they will just crawl between the walls, and they can get back to where persons are. And really often, people that are evicted because of problem of pests will make the problem spread like left, right, up, down.
Yeah.
Because when they leave, it's just like the pest is like, well, who's gonna love us now? And they just like
I,
find a way.
I, I don't know how my viewers are reacting to this, if their skin's crawling or they're saying, "Oh, I gotta call Chris." I don't know
It's
which one's going to be.
Yeah, well, I had bed bugs when I was in Victoria a long time, even before I started, right? So I know what that is. And you feel itchy. You wake up at night, you're like, is there something around me? And sometimes there's not. So it just like stay in your mind a bit. And still, when I was going back on some treatment, even there's were nothing on me, you still feel itchy sometimes,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah, yeah.
I'll show a dance at Expand
Okay,
that prevent you to get bed bugs crawling on you. But you have to be at Expand, and you have to be assisting to my presentations. Only 10 minutes. I'll show you something is called the bed bug dance.
bed bug
Oh
dance.
yeah, you have a preview here.
Okay,
Don't miss
well,
it. Alfonso will love me. He says, "Oh yeah, please go
I,
sell Expand to everybody." Just
yeah.
yeah. So it's just a simple technique so that bugs don't crawl on you when you're doing your walkthrough in the building. Something I show to everybody. Very simple but efficient.
Okay. Well,
Mm.
I'm going to be paying attention to the dance.
Oh, that'll be fun. We'll have a fun dancing all together. You'll see.
Yeah, so in establishing business, this is something that I mean, I know real estate is something that is a time-consuming process. When you're managing multifamily businesses, you've got a lot of time demands on your person, as well as there must be huge demands on the pest remediation business. Are you partnered up with others? Are you doing this solo? How are you managing your time?
Well, so I mean, I have a team. I'm not directly involved as technician. I just work on the business. I'm not in the business. Um,
So you're
but
watching others dance now.
so yeah, so that's it. So I will train the managers, and the managers will train people inside the business, and I'm more at the level to um, like network with property manager or explain them like process they can do to reduce the cost. But the thing is, the only people that really care about reducing the cost is the investor that pay for the service. And that's why I also have a podcast. It's called The Trade Saver, where I invite property manager and I invite other people from different trade to share like technique that is good to reduce the cost and things to avoid, because it's not everybody that is there for your own interest. And if you hire a property manager, that doesn't mean that property manager care that much for your money. They will care more about sometime, is this process will make my day easy or not, right? So that's something to be aware of, right?
Yeah, so that's something that I wanted to actually ask you more about. So you wanted to avoid the carelessness of competing companies, and let's understand that statement a bit more. That I found that on your website, I believe, and so just trying to understand what that would. You've obviously had that exposure to some carelessness. Others, no need to name names, but
No, no, that's it. So I'll just talk about it. Like even when I was a client, that's where I can see. Then before I started the pest control business, that's the reason why I started it as the perspective of a client. So the idea is when you decide, for example, for bed bugs to let's say one of the unit, example, unit 201 as an issue. So generally, the traditional way is all the unit around. So the unit underneath, above, left, right, and even across. They will all have to move their furniture 2 feet away from the wall and leave for the day for like 4 to 6 hours, even if they don't have the bugs, so that people can go and do a chemical spray in the unit. But the problem is when you ask like 9 units to prepare for one person that has an issue, and you repeat that process every 2 weeks for the next 6 weeks. So that means you got 9 times, 3 times asking people to do preparation, right? So that means generally my experience when they were asking my tenants to do this, I had people trashing the furniture because they were angry. I had people wanting to break their lease. I had people that wanted to sue for medical reason because it was smelling chemical in the hallway. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm the only one decide this. But the thing is, the real cost of pest control issue is it can create vacancy.
Yeah.
And that pest control business, they don't give, mm, okay, about it. The thing is also the treatment that is done when you do it. Sure, treating the unit as the issue is nice, but treating the one around it, there's a way to do it case that we develop that don't require preparation, that doesn't require people to leave for the day, that also allow to detect if there's migration and that kill the pests at the same time without resistance. There is a way to do this, and there's a way to do it so that it costs even less than
Mm.
the other process. So that means you will not disturb 27 times people, you will just disturb one time the person concerned. So you reduce the chance of vacancy. But that's not something company will want to do because they do more money trading all the units around it
Mm.
versus there's a way to
I
to
see. So,
to
so that
detect.
makes sense. And then, so
So
that's a collateral damage as well as an expensive one.
but it's not like I say. It's not just the cost treatment. It's the risk of vacancy that becomes very often more expensive, and the time of admin and dealing with the potential damage or potential liability lawsuit. So that's why the approach we had was let's not introduce chemical. Let's go with just heat in the main unit that's concerned. The treatment itself require nearly no preparation. People can leave it as it is versus the company. You have to pretty much pass 4 days to do preparation. You have to wash everything, bag everything, and you have to repeat the process 2 to 3 times. In our case, we can do it one time, get rid of everything, stay as it is, treat only one unit instead of treating all the units around 3 times.
Amazing, Chris.
It ends up to cost like a third. But even if I tell that to property manager, hey, it costs a third of the chemical spray, it reduces your chance of vacancy and everything. Unless if they are the company that pay for the service, they will not necessarily care that much because really often they're just being told by a company you want to do business with this because that's either the provider the condo board decided to go with, or that's just the company that the boss wants to go with, or sometimes it's just even if they are in control of it, they're like, well,
Yeah,
we just
no,
want to
I hear
assign
you.
the jobs and it's done, right? They don't really care about is it going to cost more? Is it going to cost vacancy? It's just like, well, so that's why I'm saying it's just like so sometimes I'm like, if I was the client, I will really want that solution. But it's like if I'm trying to explain to the client, or my client, what I will want, but they don't necessarily want to listen because they have other things to do, right? But again, that's fine. I think the best way is to start your own pest control business. That's something I'm considering, and surely to just implement that and through the real estate and I think that would be great, right? Having one company that take care of the trade with following the right recipe that can keep the maintenance low, and that I think that will be wonderful for
Yeah.
investor to have a company that can do that.
Well, certainly it's a necessity. It's something that could be an ancillary business to support your main. I think that's actually or an affiliate business to support your main. That sounds logical. It sounds like a really good idea.
Hmm.
Hey, Chris, tell me, have you run across any exotic pests that, anything out of the normal here? Any kind of wild birds or snakes or anything in the walls? I don't know. Have
Mm.
you got any horror
Not
stories?
that I know. That must be like I'm sure there's more exciting story. I mean, sadly, it happens. I think it happens once that one of my guy walk in a unit where someone was not alive anymore. That's kind of unfortunate.
Oh
That's
dear.
probably the only thing. Um, but it was not about the pest. Sometimes it might happen, right? People don't give signs of life. You go back in the unit and it's a bit macabre, but
That's a bit macabre, yes.
yeah, but exciting
Nothing.
um, like exotic pet. We have some exotic ants that comes from maybe Asia that you
Okay.
can find. That's the most exotic things I saw in town, but nothing like someone left, let's say, a parrot or lizard or something like a snake in the wall and during
Yeah.
treatment. No, did not happen.
Good. Good. Just as well. Alrighty, Chris. Hey, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, engage your services, or learn more about starting up their own pest control business, like you're saying, how should they reach out to you? What's the best way to reach?
Yeah, so I have a link on Calendly/trade dash saver.
Okay.
You can also go on trade-saver.com. And there, if you go down, you'll see there's a link like right at the top of the page to contact me. So it's going to bring you on the page of the Trade Saver show. You have two options. You can click on the Trade Saver to be on the podcast. If you have, let's say, a business company, a trade company, maintenance, and you want to talk about the good solution and bad solution in your business, that's one way. Then also on that trade server page, there's another link to it's called SOS bugs. This is more if you have questions or if you need a free inspection for pest control. I offer free inspection for pest control to investors that are part of the inner circle of Well Genius everywhere in Alberta. So you can reach me there, or I can have consultation with you of 30 minutes on any type of pest issue you have and you want to find a way to save costs, right? That's why I'm there to share, right? I'm convinced I can cut the cost of 50% on any type of pest issues. Uh,
Okay.
so if anybody wants to find out, I like to do education. I try to keep things short. I know I talk a lot, but I'm passionate, so that's
Oh,
okay.
well, it's very cool. Um, and you serve all of Alberta, I think I heard you say. Is that right?
Yeah, we do.
Nice. Okay. Alrighty. Well, Chris, one of the things that I like to make sure I ask all of the guests I have on my show is what is their why? And my goal of this is to try and understand what it is that makes people tick, what they're trying to achieve in life, where they're going, what is your goal, and how are you going to know when you get there? So what is your why?
Yeah, my why is just like to help people that have aspiration to get free and do more in life than let's say working from 9 to 5. People that want to just put their real talent out there, and sometimes they are just um, they just need to create a financial independence to reach that, right? So my why is to show them way to get independent faster, and I help them through like real estate investment deal and things like this, and there they can do what they really aspire to do and shine. So that's pretty much my why.
That's awesome. That's
Mm.
awesome, Chris. Any last words before we go?
Last word. Hopefully that's not my very last word. It sounds like it sounds like is there something that's gonna happen to me here?
No, I think
Okay. Yeah, so well, hopefully I was able to answer all your questions. I don't know if there was anything that was unclear that maybe you want to dig a little bit more in details, no?
you know what? I think that you've done a great job helping open my eyes to, and hopefully my listeners' eyes to the options available when you're facing pest issues. You don't necessarily need to have something that's detrimental to your business to solve a problem. There are other ways to approach it. You offer a solution that's going to be more cost effective, and it's in the short term and in the long term. From a
Yeah, the essential, especially for person that want to purchase multi-unit, is the walkthrough. So at the walkthrough, it's like looking for pests is as important as looking for damage to the structure, because once they're there, then you buy that, you stuck with it, right? So the best is you can contact me. There's a number. It's called 888 SOS bugs. That's pretty much a validity number. You call this number, then I can go do that inspection. So again, it's 888 SOS bugs. And I will go with you, do the walkthrough if you're somewhere in Alberta. And then I will be able to quickly see if there's problem of bed bugs, mice, or cockroach. I do it for free. All right. It's my way to network with investor and also to make sure they don't fall in the problem that I have. And also, it's a way, let's say, if we find opportunity or problem of pest that is higher, that's a type of deal that I'm interested to come on, right? Because if we can see a big problem and then we can maybe reduce the problem, then I can even come on the deal, get the problem fixed as a partner, active partner, and then we could refinance this property for a higher price quickly after when it's solved, right? So I can either way, right? I don't have to be a partner. I can simply give you the information. But what I'm saying is if we found something, we also have a plan B for that, but at least you know what you're getting into, right? And you'll get the property at the right price. That's what matters.
That does matter. It matters a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you for those parting words, Chris. That's great. I appreciate it. And thank you, everybody. Reach out to Chris if you've got any questions or if you've got any pest control issues. I think he'd be happy to talk with you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Steve.